Traits of a high-value woman that repel narcissists. Let's go. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tamie M. Joyce. I'm the founder of Tamie M Coaching and the creator of the Freedom class and the Ascension class. If you'd like to learn more about how to become a coaching client, there's a link in the description below this video where you can apply to see if you qualify for a free one-on-one consultation with either myself or a member of my team. So let's talk about traits of a high-value woman, and specifically the traits that repel a narcissist. Now, understand, when I say high-value woman, I'm not talking about your inherent worth here. We all have worth. That goes without saying. What I'm talking about is the high-value woman who values herself. She knows her full worth and value. She embodies genuine and authentic self-love, self-respect, and self-esteem. She isn't just outwardly confident. Lord knows the female narcissist can project an air of outward confidence like nobody's business. That's not what I'm talking about here. The high-value woman is different, and it's obvious. There's an air about her, substance, depth, a strength, calm, and humility that sets her apart. And make no mistake, narcissistic men resent high-value women. I'd go so far as to say narcissistic men are typically full-blown misogynists, even if only covertly. There's an inherent contempt and disdain for a strong woman with a backbone, an opinion, and solid self-esteem, and a mind of her own. Narcissistic men don't like that. It threatens their sense of superiority, false sense of superiority, and fragile little ego. They far prefer women they can easily manipulate, dominate, and control. Women they can coerce to do their bidding. Women naive enough to buy their bullshit and stand still while they're being harmed on every level. They want women whose self-esteem is in the toilet, internally at least. They want you to look good, but be fearful, wounded, and insecure enough to allow them to get away with all manner of relationship crimes. You know, put up with the narcissist and all the crap they bring to the table. Now, a high-value woman is none of those things, and thus is repellent to a man with a destructive narcissist personality pattern. And on that note, let's get into it. Here are 13 traits of a high-value woman that quite literally repel narcissists. Number 1, she's done her work. That's right. To begin with, she has done her work. And by work, I mean her personal healing and recovery work. And because of this, she's not compelled towards men who treat her poorly. She doesn't find dysfunction or toxicity the least bit attractive or even acceptable for that matter. And she certainly doesn't ignore red flags or put up with any kind of nonsense. She has healed her original family of origin wounding and trauma to a large degree, and as such, she's not an appealing target for a narcissist because A, she sees through them very quickly, and B, what they bring to the table does not move, flatter, or sway her in the least. And of course, the narcissist doesn't take kindly to someone not falling for their phony charm, outright lies, or lies by omission. This brand of woman, the narcissist finds utterly frustrating, as well as absolutely repulsive. And naturally, that's a very good thing. Number 2, she is not afraid to be alone. Because she has done her work, she is independent and healthy enough to be interdependent with relatively healthy others, good people, the right people, without slipping into codependent thinking and behaving. She's full and complete and happy to have a good man complement what she's created for herself and maybe even add to the good she has going on, but make no mistake, she's whole and complete regardless. She does not need a man to rescue, save, or support her. And because of this, she doesn't settle for less. Less than what she wants, less than what she needs, less than what she knows she deserves. Again, she knows her value. She's good. Number 3, she has her financial house in order. Now, this isn't about her net worth necessarily. It's about the fact that her house is in order. She takes care of business. She's cleaned up any financial messes she may have created in the past, and she's taking good care of her present self as well as her future self in this regard. Now, although a narcissist will find a well-resourced woman very attractive, as they're always looking for a gravy train to hitch their wagons to, a woman who truly has her financial house in order isn't going to be open to or naive enough to allow herself to be exploited by a destructive narcissist. And as soon as the narcissist realizes this is the case, poof, they'll be gone. They'll disappear right into the ether, off to find another more gullible, pliable, needy, and appealing target who will be more likely to hand over the keys to her queendom. Number 4, she is passionate about personal development. Her growth game is huge. Although she is very satisfied with who she is in the here and now, loving and accepting herself unconditionally, she is always striving to become the next best version of herself. She knows she's here to grow and evolve. She knows that if she isn't growing, fundamentally, she's dying. So she contemplates the big questions, like, for example, who am I becoming and why? She works on herself while simultaneously loving the bleep out of herself. Again, her growth game is huge. Number 5, she is kind and compassionate and takes no shit. A high-value woman is a highly empathic woman who is kind, compassionate, and very loving, but never to her own detriment. She has healthy limits and boundaries and has no problem communicating those limits and boundaries with confidence and clarity, whenever necessary. She says what she means and means what she says. She'll never go out of her way to hurt you, but crossing her is never a good idea either. She isn't likely to just roll over and take it. In fact, kind, compassionate, and loving as she may be to her very core, you may be very surprised to witness the degree to which her life is fully a zero tolerance zone for unnecessary BS, drama, or trauma. If she's dropped you like a hot rock, this is probably why. Number 6, she tells the truth. She is a truth seeker and truth speaker. She will not lie with, to, or for you under any circumstances. Her heart and her life are aligned with what's true, and she stands firm, fully aligned with her personal integrity. She's not a people pleaser going along just to get along, looking for approval and validation from the outside world, afraid to upset the apple cart or ruffle feathers with something as fundamentally important as the truth. She speaks her truth, again, with confidence and clarity, and trusts that the cards will fall however they're meant to. Relationships that require her to live a lie are an absolute no-go for the high-value woman. Now comment below and let me know whether or not any of this resonates with you. Let me know in the comments section below. Also, if you'd like to learn more about the possibility of working with me in one of my coaching programs, there's a link in the description below this video where you can apply to see if you qualify for a free one-on-one consultation with either myself or a member of my team. This is for you if you're ready and able to invest in yourself. You're ready to shift your identity, master the law of attraction, heal your relationship with money, and put a full stop end to the limiting beliefs and self-sabotaging behaviors that are holding you back and preventing you from living your best life. If that sounds like you, the link is in the description below this video. Number 7, she has standards. A high-value woman is incredibly self-aware, and because of that, she's clarified for herself not only exactly what she wants and needs, but also what she is and is not available for. She has goals, and she's steadily working towards them. She doesn't wait for others to catch up. Instead, she holds the standard in her life. You either measure up or you don't. It's that simple. Are you starting to see why a high-value woman is so repellent to a destructive narcissist? Number 8, she cares about having a positive impact. Having a massive impact, making a positive difference in the lives of others, being a force for good on this planet matters to her. And she's willing to go the distance to contribute in a way that aligns with her values. She knows we all have the power to put a dent in the darkness that is so pervasive on this planet, and you can count on the fact that she's busy doing her part in her own unique way. Number 9, she's not a toxic gossip, devaluing others behind their back. Not her thing. Instead, she's gracious and kind and would much prefer discuss ideas, opportunities, experiences, current events, metaphysics, quantum physics, even philosophy. anything other than the personal affairs or so-called shortcomings of another human being who isn't present and therefore able to defend themselves. She finds toxic gossips just that, toxic, and she holds herself to a higher standard. If she's distanced herself from you, this could be why. Number 10, she cares about her appearance. Now, she doesn't go crazy, obsessively working too hard to look a certain way, impress others, or show up inappropriately overdone or overdressed for the occasion. But she does put in the effort to look her best and cares about her appearance. She's not a slob. Rather, she's dignified and has healthy self-esteem and self-respect. And that is obvious by the way she takes care of herself and how she shows up in the world. Number 11, she values her health. Again, this isn't about going overboard with compulsive exercise and complicated or overly restrictive diets, but she does take excellent care of herself from a health, wellness, and fitness perspective. Again, she values herself, and it shows in the standards she lives by and the ways in which she exercises extreme self-care. Number 12, she sells her soul for no one. She is not a prostitute on any level. She doesn't compromise her dignity, integrity, self-worth, self-respect, personal standards, limits, or boundaries for the comfort or approval of others, not least of which others who could care less about her personal comfort or well-being. She stays true to herself, no matter who likes it or does not like it. She is integral. Always, again, she sells her soul for no one. And last but not least, number 13, she does not chase men. I recently had an interesting exchange with a woman where she had been completely devastated by a man who treated her poorly. Now, she told me that without really knowing him, she traveled 800 miles to meet him in person and was crestfallen by the appalling way she was treated when she got there. Now, given that she wanted my opinion, I made some recommendations in terms of what she could have learned from the experience and how she might take better care of herself in the future so that A, she avoids putting herself in serious danger, and B, she doesn't end up deeply hurt again. Now, call me old-fashioned, but part of my suggestion was to perhaps hold her cards closer to her chest a little bit, act like the valuable lady that she is, and allow the man to do the pursuing in the beginning, in the future. What was fascinating to me was just how committed she was to the idea that chasing a man across state lines and delivering yourself to him like you're some pizza delivery service is an okay thing to do. Even after being treated like garbage, she held on to the notion that this was fine, as if her life depended on it. Now, here's the thing. Women who fight for and want to defend their right to chase after men, and often men who aren't treating them very well, or have barely expressed any real or genuine interest, simple question. How's that working for you? I'm guessing not very well. As in the case with the woman I recently had the conversation with, she was in a whole world of pain that could have easily been averted had she had some standards and boundaries in terms of how she shows up and what she expects in a new dating relationship. To begin with, not all for sure, but a lot of narcissistic men won't go out of their way to treat you well in the beginning. And if they do, it's likely to be pretty short-lived. Again, I'm not saying this is always the case, but a good way to separate the wheat from the chaff is to, again, have some standards and boundaries and value yourself enough to allow yourself to be courted. Let the man do the chasing. Men are biologically wired for this. It's in their fundamental nature. And although they may be flattered when you pursue them and you might even have your way with them in the short term, you're not likely to get what you really want long term by conducting yourself in this fashion in a new dating situation with a man. Now, like it or not, the truth is high value women don't chase after men. They let men be men. Again, call me old fashioned, but here's how I see it. If a man isn't willing or able to do the heavy lifting in the early stages of a dating relationship, a time when people tend to be on their best behavior, don't be surprised when down the track you're less than satisfied with how he's showing up in the relationship, how he's treating you. He showed you exactly who he was and how valuable you were or were not from the get-go. And if you want to defend your right to pursue men and you believe that's a good idea, by all means, fill your boots. But ask yourself this and be willing to answer the question honestly. How is that working for you? Has it gotten you what you ultimately want? Men being men, I'm guessing it's not working out very well for you. It might be a good idea to consider trying a different approach. That's all I'm saying. And on that note, I'm going to call it a wrap. But before I go, I have a special announcement to make. You might be interested to know that the Ascension class is now open for enrollment, and I am so beyond excited to bring you this next level of growth, expansion, and evolution that is this transformational coaching program. If you want to go deeper with me into the work of reinventing yourself after narcissistic abuse, then this is for you. Be sure to click on the link in the description below this video to apply to see if you qualify for a free one-on-one consultation with either myself or a member of my team.